I hope you've shined up those dancing shoes, Manu. I found the ruin. It was Maya, an ancient aqueduct. It was wonderful, just as you'd imagined.
I knew you would. Now, tell me everything.
The ruins had flooded because of the earthquake. I swam through tunnels teeming with peril.
Go on.
I found a vast cavern and a stone tower with massive heads carved into its sides.
The Lords of Xibalba, right? Incredible. What else?
It must have been an aqueduct of some kind. And you'll never believe this. Most of the machinery is still functional. Water wheels 3 men high turned as smoothly as the day they were built. It was amazing to see, Manu. To be so close to all that history where no one has set foot in hundreds of years.
I see it. I can smell it, feel it, taste it. You've brought tears to an old man's dry eyes. I can't thank you enough. I'd like to give you something.
Manu, I couldn't.
Please, I insist. It's the first relic I ever found. It's beautiful and intricate. A decorated skull. I'd like someone who has the same passion for exploring that I did as a young man to have it. Don't ever let anything kill your sense of curiosity and wonder.
I won't. Thank you, Manu.
Ok, muy bien. Primero vemos el cráneo
An
decorado.
adhesive made of tree sap and powdered bone hold the jade and other gems in place within the wearer's teeth. A crude drill, perhaps made of obsidian, would have been used to delicately carve out the notches required to hold the jewelry in place.
Ok, genial. Eso fue lo que nos dio. Ahora, ¿qué pasa si...? No, mostrar colección. Vean esto. En el man ya tengo todo completo. Quechua 93%. Yucateco 80%. Estos dos me faltan. Pero hace rato no encuentro de estos... estas cuestiones como para aprender, especialmente quechua y yucateco. Pero bueno, tal vez más adelante en la... ¿cómo se llama esto? En la historia, tal vez lo vaya haciendo. Misión completada, explorar los misterios locales. Básicamente, la tumba que estaba hablando al final del video anterior era ya una tumba de las que habíamos visitado. Así que creo, si no me equivoco, que acá no hay mucho más que hacer. Ya tengo las dos tumbas, ya tengo la misión principal esta que estaba por acá. Así que este video vamos entonces a continuar con la misión principal. Vamos a ver si encontramos varios de estos documentos por acá. Inclusive puedo ir a ver de una vez algunos que hay por acá. Una cláusula de una misión.
This document outlines the goals and works of the mission of St. John. In addition to their individual spiritual goals and their outreach programs, the people here are clearly passionate about contributing to the nearby communities. Education, literacy, healthcare, even donating a portion of the food they raise.
Ok, muy bien, perfecto. Déjeme ver, vamos a continuar explorando por aquí, viendo si hay algún otro documento. Se supone que por aquí debería haber otro más. ¿Tengo todo esto lleno o no? No, sí puedo llevar. Déjame ver, tal vez aquí hay algún documento. Sí. Oh, y una mochila de explorador.
30th of December 1603. López has just returned from a nearby village, and with him came a group he says will follow him and help us with construction. There was something strange about his behavior. I attributed it to the long journey through the jungle. That night, however, he admitted what had been bothering him. They followed me, he whispered. The others. He walked off. I spent that sleepless night worrying about his deviations toward madness.
1603. Wow, ok. Veamos esto. A ver si hay algo nuevo que se reveló de lo que ya teníamos. Absolutamente nada. Ok. El mapa actualizado. ¿Y esto qué es? Ok. recursos. Perfecto. Ya casi vamos a llegar donde estaban las... Donde estaba más bien Jonah. Que accidentalmente abrimos la vez anterior. ¿Dónde es? ¿Dónde está este documento? ¿Por aquí? No puedo caminar por aquí. ¿Cómo llego ahí? Vean esto. Está del otro lado. Debe haber otro lado por aquí. Déjenme ver. Cierto. Había otro lado. ¿Cómo no vi esto antes?
This document describes the founding of the mission. There were 4 solar eclipses in this region around that time, in 1521, 1538, 1539, and 1543. Spanish missionaries reported that during each one, a vision of John the Apostle appeared on this site. So in his honor, the mission of St. John was built here in 1544.
Ok, genial. Ese era el origen del nombre, entonces. Déjame ver, entonces ese era ese documento. Voy a ir entonces, ya creo que con Jonah a esa biblioteca y ver todos estos documentos. Si no me equivoco. Sí, debería ser ahí. Así que bueno. Vamos a ver qué aprendemos acá.
Jonah, I feel something. We're getting close. Let's look around for signs of López.
Wow, vean esto. Totalmente abandonado. ¿Y esto por qué está así?
These notes were written by the founder of the Sector 7. They're talking about funds allocated for renovations to the library.
Vean esa pintura, Bueno, es una pintura, ¿no? Ok, documentos.
The door closed and a silence settled, so great and so vast I held my breath for fear of breaking it. López turned to me, his eyes wild, a smile screwed across his face. He came toward me, arms outstretched, and for a moment fear flickered across my heart. But he pulled me close, his fingers digging into my shoulders. I found it, he whispered in my ear, and releasing me, he wandered through this room. Walls of pure jade reaching up to the heavens, completely covered in intricate etched mosaics and carved figures. I followed at a distance as he approached an altar, and watched as he lifted a silver box from it.
Déjame ver, aquí deberían haber más documentos. ¿Será aquí que esto es una zona secreta? Así parece. De la Cruz se va.
The others are worried that Brothers de la Cruz and Serrano will not return. I have so far maintained they will, that they always have. But in my heart I am beginning to believe we have seen the last of them, and that grief weighs heavily. We will continue their work. Either they will return to find we have not forgotten the teachings, or they will look down on us from above and bless our continued labors.
Bien, perfecto. Déjame ver. Ya con eso, pero aquí queda otro documento atrás de nosotros. Es como si hubiera uno aquí. ¿Qué fue eso? Como un audio ahí, ¿no? Raro. Ok, déjeme ver. Sigamos por acá a ver qué encontramos en este. Aquí tiene que haber otra cosa, ¿no? Oh, es un pasadizo tal vez. Ah, no, es un mural. Cierto. Exacto, nada más es
This
esto.
cross, it looks like it's from the 17th century.
Ok. ¿Por qué carajos se supone que hay más documentos por aquí? No veo. Ese es este. No. Es como que si hubiera uno acá que no estuviera viendo. ¿cierto? O de aquí. Pero en ningún lado está. Aquí no hay nada. A menos de que haya un segundo piso. Que no lo creo. Vamos a ver qué hay aquí. Que yo había visto otra de esas paredes que se pueden botar. Otra pintura o mural.
And under his wings you may seek refuge. Under his wings. A heron and an eclipse.
Otra página del diario.
25th of December, 1603. It has been 4 days since we turned away from the city. We traveled in silence and in circles, guided by a confusion of grief, relief, and celebration. López and I exited the jungle and landed in a clearing, under the gaze of several faces carved into the side of the mountain. López had an episode, as he later called it. He threw himself in front of the faces and screamed for forgiveness. The heaviest sin on his heart was abandoning Perez to the strange warriors. They had grown close over the journey. Try as I might, I could not console him. So I built a fire and waited, as he decreed his actions and pleaded for forgiveness from the silent stone faces.
Ok, déjeme ver si sí había un segundo piso. Por eso habían cosas que no estaba encontrando.
"26th of December, 1603. López woke me, having already prepared a Spartan breakfast. This is where we were meant to be, he said, a cold determination in his voice, so very different from how he acted just the day before. I finished my meal as he spoke of holy retribution, how he had acted in error, but now God had put his hands on his shoulders and shown him the path to walk. We will spread the true word of God from this small mission, he said, pointing to an adobe building just beyond the stone faces. We will prepare the path for the chosen one to follow, for only he who does will be worthy of this box.
Juan el Apóstol. Vamos a ver qué es esto.
John, son of Zebedee, one of Jesus' apostles, also called the beloved disciple. He and his brother James were known for their impetuousness and temper, which prompted Christ to start calling them Boanerges, sons of thunder. John is credited with writing 5 books of the New Testament, the Gospel of John, the 3 epistles of John, and the Book of Revelation. He's the patron saint of love and loyalty, as well as writers, publishers, and scholars. One of his symbols is a serpent in a cup, which is linked to his patronage of victims of poisoning and burns.
Ok, muy bien. ¿Dónde más hay cosas? Vamos a ver, por aquí no hay. Tiene que haber algo por este lado. Allá, exacto, y por aquí. Vamos a abrir esto. Parece ser otro mural, ¿no?
The sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. Jonah, those 2 Bible quotes. The sun will be darkened, and under his wings you may seek refuge.
What does it mean?
That's it. Look for a heron and an eclipse.
Encuentra. Ya la encontré. Era abajo, ¿no?
This roughly drawn sketch shows St. John repelling a demon attack. Perhaps they plan to have this as one of the frescoes in the mission.
Ok, déjame hacer algo. Falta un documento. Bueno, faltan dos. Historia completa. Llegada. Ok, no sé cuál es la historia. Si era la de... o de todos esos documentos del diario que estábamos leyendo. De la Cruz llega.
Brother de la Cruz appeared one day, emerging from the jungle, breathing new life into the mission. There were just the three of us when he arrived, and Sister Dorothea had been ill for many weeks. He and his associate began to work that first day. By the next week, de la Cruz had recruited a workforce of 36. They prepared the bell tower and worked the fields, planting crops. Brother de la Cruz aims to make us self-sufficient. We'd spent so long alone out here, I'd worried we'd lose God's ear. Lo and behold, we not only had his ear, but he sent another to act as his hands as well.
Ok, genial, déjame ver. Aquí estaba un par más. Más bien, aquí lo que hay es oro, ¿no? Y el último que nos falta de todos estos en este lado. Un poema.
Stone faces weep as Jesus creeps along the dolorous path. Too many died. More will still, and more will still, and more will still. His light leads the way.
Ok, muy bien. Ya sabemos entonces a dónde tenemos que ir a buscar esta pintura que está ahí abajo. Además, voy a bajar aquí. ¿No puedo? No puedo. Tengo que bajar como una persona civilizada por las escaleras. Ok. Y esta era la pintura. La garza y el eclipse.
There's a whole mural under here. Veracruz, the true cross.
Is that what I think it is?
The silver box. It's unmistakable.
Jesus takes up the cross. These are the stations of the cross. But there's a bunch missing.
Before 1600, there were only 7. This could date back to the time of López.
This is one of his clues.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing he does.
All right. Let's see if we can find a cross lying around here somewhere.
Una cruz. Vía Veritas. Encuentra la
When we
cruz.
find the box, how do we get the key back from Dominguez?
We'll find a way.
Aquí estaba la cruz, ¿no? Ya la habíamos visto.
Found something?
Yeah. Jesus takes up the cross. Help me lift this.
Probablemente se abra un camino entonces.
That actually worked.
Pero está un poco atascado, ¿no? Ok, no dije nada.
Looks like a long way down. Let's see where this leads.
Wow, ¿qué es esto?
Thanks.
Station 2. Jesus falls the first time.
Oh, wow, ¿qué es esto?
There's an inscription here. Ambulate dum lucem habitis.
Walk while you have the light.
Oh, wow. Esa es la clave entonces de esta
Have to
parte.
use the light beam to follow the stations of the cross.
Y entonces tenemos que mover esto. Vamos a ver qué pasa. ¿Será esto? ¿O no? Ah, no está completo. No lo puse exactamente bien.
That did it.
Vámonos.
I wouldn't want to be buried in here. My head tossed behind a cross somewhere.
Vean qué bien esa
While you
luz.
have the light, so that the darkness may not overtake you,
Sounds like a hint.
or a threat.
This looks like the Virgin Mary.
Station 3. Jesus meets his mother.
Necesitamos girarla, ¿no?
The mirror looks dusty.
No, es que está al revés. No. Deberíamos continuar nada más.
I'll give you a boost.
Ah, no, necesitamos limpiarlo entonces.
Hey, it worked.
Wow.
The light leads this way.
Un momento. ¿Dónde estamos? Todavía estamos aquí. Ok. Continuemos.
What happened to these people?
It looks like the light activated something.
Lara! Are you alright? You're lucky it was a little rusted.
This must be Station 4.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at these frescoes. Have to use the light beam to follow the stations of the cross.
Ok, déjame ver esto entonces. Necesitamos mover esto. Vamos a
People
ver.
look like they were tortured. Hung up in the ceiling.
I don't think this was just a crypt.
¿Qué pasa con este? No sé si este es el
I'll
correcto.
get it.
Wow.
Station 5. Jesus falls a second time.
Ahí viene Jonah con nosotros. Oh, vean esto.
Lara, is that what I think it is?
The stations of the cross again.
But with mummies. Isn't this sacrilegious?
Not necessarily. They could have been paying the ultimate homage.
Or they were just sick?
This must be Station 6.
Ok, vamos a ver. Esto hay que apuntarlo. ¿Hacia dónde?
Looks
Allá
like a
hay-
church. These ones are posed like monks.
Ok, esta... ¿Dónde la movemos? No tengo la menor idea. Vamos a ver qué pasa.
So López staged the whole crucifixion of the mummies? Seems sacrilegious.
I think this was a place of worship for an underground sect.
Literally. I guess this is the sect from the pamphlet.
Vamos a ver a dónde tengo que mover esto.
This is disgusting. I'm glad I wasn't around when López was. Inscription. Do not fear those who kill the body, but are unable to kill the soul. Is that meant for us?
Don't let Lopez get in your head. He's caused enough trouble already.
Okay, let's do this.
crucifixion.
Not sure. Maybe it's on the pamphlet.
Strange there are only 7 stations. This must be based on an older tradition. Jesus takes up the cross, falls the first time, meets his mother. Then Veronica wipes his face before he falls the second time. Then he is crucified and finally entombed.
Ok, muy bien. Con eso avanza un poco. Entonces, en el panfleto decía, o era el próximo, no sé. Básicamente lo que seguía en esa secuencia era la crucifixión. Y creo que esa era la que representaba eso. Y ahora no tengo la menor idea. ¿Cuál es el que sigue? Listo. Creo que de ambos lados lo que necesitábamos era que estuviera la crucifixión. Eso es todo. Yo me digo que aquí está la caja.
What the hell happened here?
López had his disciple wall him in and then... bang.
No witnesses?
Oh, wow.
The box of Chel. Only the hands of the righteous one may seize destiny from mine.
I guess it's you then.
He led us on this goose chase. He sabotaged every clue.
All to keep this box from Trinity?
And the people of Parte. He was totally consumed by it.
Nadar a un lugar seguro. ¿Cómo vamos a encontrar un lugar seguro aquí? Lo más cómico es que es una cajota grandísima y ya ni siquiera la tenemos. Ni siquiera la tenemos en el bolsillo. Oh, rayos. ¿Qué es esto? Ah, esqueletos o pedazos de cadáveres. Ok. No creo que tenga muchos problemas para aguantar la respiración. Igual esto es parte del juego. Así que aunque nos pongan esto, vamos a sobrevivir. Sería el colmo. Wow.
Where is she?
I don't know.
I just need the box.
Fuck you!
Well, I guess we're done here.
Andrew!
Stop!
Let him go! Release him, and I will give you the box.
Lara, what are you doing?
I've lost enough people.
I know you have. Your father was brilliant.
He was taken from me before I could know.
He was my friend. But he was obsessed, relentless.
You didn't know him.
He refused to see the potential for destruction in his work. He had to be stopped.
You had him killed.
He was going to lead the public to Paititi. Everything I love, everything I fought for. My world would have been destroyed.
And what about my world?
Come on, Lara. You can't think it's the same.
It is to a 9-year-old girl. I was a child.
There was too much at stake. An entire civilization, hundreds of years of independence, thousands of lives. I had no choice.
There's always a choice. It's not too late. You can honor Unuratu and restore the sun.
No. The threat must be removed.
You're a low, selfish, murdering coward.
And you, Lara? How many lives have you ended? In pursuit of what?
Lara, go!
No puede ser.
Stop him!
No puede ser, ya entonces empieza otra sección aquí, claro que sí. Exacto. Otra zona completamente. Comenzar a eliminar a todos estos.
That Rourke running past just now? Yeah. Think we should call him? Hell
Veni,
no.
vidi,
If there's any
perdidi.
change in our status, he'll tell us.
Spanish Jesuit missionary Andrés López, a member of Trinity, was dispatched to find and retrieve this silver box of Ishel rumored to be in Paititi. Instead of bringing the box back to the Trinity High Council, he confessed the theft to his old friend, the Emperor of Paititi, Sinchichika, Unuratu's ancestor. Together they entered into a plot to hide the box from Trinity. López went west to Paititi and founded the mission of San Juan, leaving a path of clues stretching back to Cozumel for Sinchichika's descendants to follow when the time came. But while building the mission and the deadly crypts below, the box's power corrupted López's mind. He came to believe that no one was worthy of the power of the sun. He died alone in the dark, consumed by the power of the box. Soon after, disease severely wiped out the population of Paititi, taking Sinchichika and knowledge of the path of the clues that led to the silver box with it.
Ok, genial. Toda la explicación. Perfecto.
Hasn't been much radio chatter.
¿Y saben qué? Voy a dejar este video hasta acá y en el próximo continúo exactamente en este punto para empezar a limpiar toda esta zona.
What next?
Se supone que estamos persiguiendo a Jonah o salvándolo, supongo. Así que, pues bueno.
Keep this channel clear.
But sir, we're hearing disruption to our northwest.
The situation is being handled. I say again, keep this channel clear. Rourke out.
Es cierto, necesitamos también acabar con Rogue. Así que, pues bueno, como les dije, hasta acá este video. Como siempre, pásenla bien y nos vemos hasta la próxima.